Hi, Tormod here, and today I would like to talk about schizophrenia and voices in the head, the phenomena of voices in the head. So, almost all people experience voice in the head from time to time. You don't have to be schizophrenic to have a voice in the head every now and then. Voice in the head are sort of like thoughts, and they are like a mind system. They are very much like a mind system where the mind is having this thought, this voice that is really loud and perhaps very frightening or scary of content. And from this loudness, this directness, this directing, and this the content of this voice would have us scared and obedient to it, perhaps. We would listen to our voice in the head and sort of do what they say, sort of follow their advice, sort of would just be scared from what is happening to me and just be paralyzed, and But voice in the head are basically thoughts, loud thoughts from mind systems that are keeping us in a limited position. Voices in the head are like really loud thoughts, loud messages coming from the mind that are keeping us within the limitations of mind. That are, keeping us in the limitations of mind and not letting us become real, become breath, become physical, become sanity, become what is best for all. So basically, voice in the head sometimes people can call out and say like, they're like this warrior from the 1500s that is talking to me in my head, or it's like my grandfather died 10 years ago, or it is that their voices have a sort of identification and origin separate from them. This is just mind playing on your memories and your knowledge and information within your body to manipulate you into accepting and allowing these thoughts, these voices. For instance, with a typical voice from Jesus, voice from God, commanding us to do this and that and that and this, which might be something criminal or something totally ridiculous or something insane. When we hear a voice in our head, it was a voice from God, which is obviously just some little energy, some little system, some system components within mind, convincing the one to do whatever. And then this being would call out and they'd say it was God telling me to do so. Or it was a voice in my head. And but we are all responsible for the thoughts we have and the programming we carry. So, voices in the head have, to me, my voice that I've been struggling with have been very bothersome and troubling for me to experience. And it took me quite a long time to get over them, get through them, to work through these elements, these constructs. It has taken me quite some time to work through these constructs, but now that I'm more stable, more standing, more grounded in the physical, in in breath, in sanity, in myself, my self-awareness. I have a much more overview, responsibility, honesty, about these things, and I can see more clear what they were, what went on, and this how the story have been developed, and to realize that voices were all just programs developed by the mind, because the mind knows us. The mind knows us very, very well. The mind has a very, very, very fine, or the ego, you might say, have a very fine awareness of the human experience. It knows our memories, it knows our weaknesses, it knows our strengths, it knows everything about us. Ego and mind knows everything about us. So it is very common that mind would create all these systems, like it was a shaman from Amazonas telling me to do so and so and so, or it was this voice in my head from Sibir, this little lady telling me to do this and that, or it was my ancient forefathers telling me to do so and so. It was God or Jesus telling me to do this and that, which is all the makings and the theater of the mind. So, what can we say could be some solutions to this? And again, I would like to say that it is not only the schizophrenic who suffers from voice in the head. This is also an occurrence for ordinary people. Might also have the occasional yelling or commanding or whatever voice in the head. Obviously, yes. So, for me, my process have been to work through my mind with self-forgiveness, finding all the elements and the compartments and the programs and the constructs of my mind. Like if I have a voice, I would open it up with pen and paper and map it out. What is the voice? What does it say? Honesty. What does it say? And then say, where does it come from? Where is its origin? In my mind. Where in my mind does it come from? Is it a memory? Is it something of... Obviously it is memory. Almost all times it's a memory. What's the memory behind it? And be honest, it might not be what you think it is. It might not be what you think it is. So find the voice, find the memory behind it, and find the personality within that, where you're acting, and find the polarities and energies, and dive deeper and deeper into your own mind to release all those energies, all those conspiracies with self-forgiveness. By forgiving the voice in itself, by forgiving for the memory, forgiving the energies within the memory, by forgiving the polarities and the place within the memory, by forgiving the mind components within the memory, like the subconscious, unconscious, conscious, quantum mind within the memory, and all of these elements, and to really work on self-forgiveness on each and every single voice, on each and every single memory, each and every single energy, conspiracy within mind, and each and every single obsession, possession within mind. So it is a big job, but it can be done. I have walked quite a lot to get through my voices. I still have some work to do, process to walk to get through all my history and all my voices and all my mind systems. But today it is much more easy because I know how to do it. I know how to write mind constructs. I know how to work with self-forgiveness. I know what self-honesty is. I know that I have to be 100% responsible for all that exists. bring it all back to me, find common sense within me, bring everything, and I mean everything, back to myself, find stability, find common sense, find forgiveness, find understanding, and change myself as a system based on that understanding, based on that realization, so that I can avoid going into voices and thought conspiracies and rather be physical, rather be breath, be sanity, real, self-honest, responsible human being who can create a better living reality for all of life, for all of mankind, all of life. That is what we all would like to see. That is what this awakening, this change, this paradigm shift is all about. To become one and equal with self, with life, and so on. So, voice in the head is a nasty system of mind. It is definitely a nasty system of mind, and you know, the mind will lure you and trick you into thinking that this is coming from somebody else. My voice in my head is from my neighbor, from my aunt, from my father, from my ancient grandfather who lived in Germany in the 1800s, or from whatever, an Amazon warrior, or from, it is a voice coming from Elton John, or Jesus, or Mahatma Gandhi, or Nelson Mandela. These voices is coming from so and so and so. They're coming from yourself, from your own mind system. It's your mind that is corrupting you and conspiring within you to have you to believe and think that my voice are from God and my message from God, whatever. Come on. It is all about bringing everything back to self, to equalize with self, and become standing as equal and one, as breath, as physicality, as responsibility, and so on. So, this is some sharing about voice in the head, and in particular within schizophrenia, and that voice in the head with the schizophrenic might seem like a very complicated and hard task to work through, but I am born schizophrenic. I have worked through layers and layers and layers and layers of voice in the head, of energies, of thought conspiracies within me. And so it says I can do it, so can you. Check out the links. Enjoy.